Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and as I welcome you this Thursday evening, I wonder when will India take the right stand as far as Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose is concerned, ladies and gentlemen. It is very, very clear that he did not die on the 18th of August 1945. He lived way beyond that. There is evidence to prove that he wanted to come back to India. If I were to go by what the CIA has released as far as its own archives are concerned and the comments made during 1964. Tonight, in a series of our endeavor to try and unravel Bose the mystery, we stumbled upon a crucial part of this entire effort to try and prove and de-link Subhash Chandra Bose from Bhagwanji or Gumnami Baba, and whether or not this effort itself was based on a figment of imagination, quote unquote, something that was just drummed up. Because a crucial part of what should have proven the theory or disproven the theory is today being claimed not available. Here is a background to what we have done so far, and then we will dive into something very, very special tonight. You must watch this.
On the 7th of June 2019, we unraveled the mystery of Subhash Chandra Bose's disappearance with stunning letters that established the link between Bose and Gumnami Baba or Bhagwanji.
Any similarity? The first thing I noticed,
Theorizing why Bose chose to remain Gumnam in India. And then, a week later, a confirmation of the theory.
Over 30 different similarities, which is very unusual. It would be hard for a forger to do that many when they don't know what we're looking for, you see. So it is my professional expert opinion that the same person wrote it.
The theory further embellished with a live comparison in the Right Stand studios by another forensic expert.
These six small portions have been extracted from disputed letters.
And today, more missing pieces raising further questions. Crucial aspect of the DNA analysis report, the elctropherogram claimed not available upon an RTI query. The CFSL claiming the most important aspect on which they based their findings was Gumnam, raising several questions on the findings of the Justice Sahai Commission that deemed no connection between Bose and Bhagwanji. Justice Mukherjee had pointed in the direction of a possibility that was rejected by his student Justice Sahai. Why wasn't a thorough forensic analysis of Bose and Bhagwanji's handwriting conducted? Why didn't the Sahai Commission insist on the missing elctropherogram which was withheld from Justice Mukherjee too? Was the DNA report submitted to Justice Mukherjee fudged? 74 years since Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose's mysterious disappearance. More questions than answers. More doubts than clarity. Was the DNA report fudged? Is the Bose-Bhagwanji link deliberately being diluted? Bureau Report, CNN News18.
well, ladies and gentlemen, there are a few questions and there is a reason why we are asking this question tonight. Was the Gumnami Baba DNA report fudged is a question that we are asking, and this is based on the CFSL report that was submitted to the Mukherjee Commission, and there were a few critical portions that were missing. First up, Gumnami Baba was of medium height as per as the teeth samples. That's what is being said. But the experts' counter is that the dental morphology can't determine the height of a person. Secondly, Kolkata CFSL report says specimen of the teeth compared with those of Netaji's skin. But the experts' counter is that a bioedit software is not apt for a sequence trace comparison. It's a wrong as far as the elctropherogram or any other medium of testing is concerned. Now, the Kolkata CFSL report said teeth samples don't belong to the paternal side of Netaji. The experts are saying conclusion derived from just 4 parameters out of 20, and that only an elctropherogram can validate the results. The link between Bose and Gumnami Baba can't be established, said the report or the CFSL report, but they said that only an elctropherogram can validate the results. So, Let's show the electropherogram. That should be the natural submission. But the fact of the matter, ladies and gentlemen, is that there is no electropherogram. In 2007, an RTI query, and I have that here, actually asks, the RTI query asks for the electropherogram, and in 2017, dated 6th of March 2017, they say that this information is confidential and hence cannot be given. आपको दे नहीं सकते. But the same query on the 4th of February 2020, please give us the electropherogram, says the RTI. What does the reply say? It is not available. Is there a deliberate attempt to dilute the Bose-Bhagwanji link? We are asking tonight. Was the DNA report fudged? Is the question that we are dwelling on. We will try and get both sides of the story. But most importantly, like always, we not only have those who have argued to establish and work to establish the fact that Subhash Chandra Bose did live beyond 1945 and that he did come to India, and who have tried to unravel this mystery and work tirelessly to solve this conundrum around Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. With us in the studio this evening, Anuj Dhar, author, and Chandrachud Ghosh, also author, and researchers who are integral part of the Bose Foundation are with me. Shayak Sen, RTI activist, who actually sent this query and got this reply, "Bhaiya, not available," on the 4th of February 2020, is also joining us via Skype. We also have Sumeru Roy Chaudhary and Chandra K. Bose. Chandra K. Bose is related to Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. Sumeru Roy Chaudhary is a person who's questioning all those people who want to establish or believe in a Bose-Bhagwanji link. But first, I'm going to go across. We have Mr. Alok Avasthi, spokesperson of the BJP, also with us, UP BJP. But first, I'm going to go across to Professor Gyaneshwar Chaube. Gyaneshwar Chaube ji, good evening. Thank you for joining us this evening. He is a renowned professor and also columnist. He is also a DNA expert. He teaches, he's affiliated and associated with the Banaras Hindu University. Mr. Gyaneshwar Chaube, Professor Gyaneshwar Chaube, please first tell me, you have a copy of the DNA report that was submitted by the CFSL to the Justice Mukherjee Commission. Is this a complete report?
Yes, thanks to Mr. Anuj Dhar.
And is this a complete report? Were you able to study this report, sir? What did you find?
Actually, it was really shocking for me because I'm really sorry to read this report. I never expected to have this kind of report from a very reputed lab which is known to do such a nice work in India on forensic. But this is really shocking for me because most of the things are really incorrect, which one can read in one shot and one can find it out completely wrong.
आपने क्या-क्या देखा? बताइए ना, Professor Chaube, please explain to our viewers what is an electropherogram. Let's go one by one. ये electropherogram क्या है and why is it so crucial to a DNA report?
See, whenever we do any DNA test, we usually try to understand that person X is whether related with person Y. So person Y is the person who is available in real time, and person X who is died or who has some condition which is by which we cannot take his sample at the right time. So by using either bone sample or teeth sample or any sample, biological sample, we extract the DNA and then we do some kind of sequencing and also some kind of STR markers. So these kind of markers are really needed to establish the identity of a person.
Right.
And in cases where there are this kind of testing all the time, there should be electropherograms, because if second scientist would like to analyze the result independently, he or she should see the result with his own eyes.
Right.
But in this case, the electropherogram is completely absent, and also in the report there is nothing mentioned about the electropherogram. And the most problematic issue is like I have never seen such kind of report where based on just 3 YSTR markers, we use YSTR markers to establish paternal identity, relation with the father line. So by using the Y chromosome markers, we establish that this person is related with other person. But usually there is a battery of 20 YSTR markers which has been also applied in this case.
Right.
And out of 20 they have just found the report of only 4. So 4 markers has given the result, rest of the marker has not given any result.
So in that case, what
And
should
you
should have been the outcome? Inconclusive, or should there be a conclusion derived?
No, they concluded that they are not related paternally, but I think in the world there is no scientist who can say this kind of conclusions, because nobody can establish the identity based on just 4 YSTR markers.
Right.
There is no rule on such kind of reports.
Then the other observation that you have made, what is the other observation that you have made?
Yeah, the first thing which you have mentioned already in the beginning, that the height of the person cannot be determined just by using the tooth morphology.
So that means by taking my
Second
tooth out,
thing-
nobody can tell me, nobody can say how tall I am. It's not possible.
No, it's completely impossible at the moment. I mean, so far it was in 2004, still in 2019, it is impossible.
Yeah, this is important to qualify that this DNA report was submitted in 2004, 16 years ago, and there have been many advancements in technology thereafter. But even then, Professor Gyaneshwar Chaubey, you are right now telling me, even today, nobody can determine from one particular person's teeth how tall that person is. But this DNA report actually states that they were able to establish the height of the person based out of what they had studied from the tooth of the person. Professor Chaubey.
Right.
Then
And
what else?
second thing is that the software, what they have used, that software don't compare the electropherograms with the nucleotides. So either you can compare nucleotides or you can compare electropherograms. And in this software, only you can compare the nucleotides. You cannot compare the electropherograms. So, and because there are several errors, when you use less amount of DNA, you get lots of artifacts, which are not the real peak, but you assume that these peaks are either correct or incorrect, and based on electropherograms, you determine that this is correct or not correct. So electropherograms you cannot compare by using this kind of outdated software.
Right. So in this case, they have not even mentioned an electropherogram. But let me ask you this. What do you mean by extracting pulp from a tooth? And how much can I extract from a tooth?
So from one tooth, even if I take out my tooth just now and try to take out the pulp, it's not more than 20 milligrams.
20 milligrams.
Right.
But this report says something far higher.
So that's like 40 to 150, which is also practically impossible for a tooth which was present during that time.
So how is, because it says quantity of DNA ranging from 4 pg to 100 pg approximately in different teeth exhibits.
Yeah, the DNA amount is fine. But
And they said
pulp
40 to
which
100
they have
mg of
extracted-
dental pulp. 40 to 100 mg of dental pulp was extracted from each of the 5 teeth specimens. Sir, आप कह रहे हैं एक दांत से भी नहीं निकल सकता, ये तो उन्होंने 5 दांतों से 40 to 100 mg निकाला each.
Yeah, that's practically impossible. I mean, it is practically impossible in 2019, and then you can assume that what has happened during 2004.
Sir, who is this person who is so far advanced 16 years ago that even today you as somebody who's a past master in this field saying आप नहीं कर सकते, लेकिन ये कौन शख्स हैं जिन्होंने कर दिया सर आज से 16 साल पहले?
Sir, I'm really sorry being a scientist and reading this kind of report.
Then sir, what else? So if you were to go, what are the other observations? Finally sir, before I open it to our other panelists. Yes.
Yeah, and there is one mutation which has been mentioned to the maternal line of the family of Netaji. And this mutation, we have a database of 100,000 people all over the world.
Right.
This mutation is absent. So if you assume that this lab has done some kind of DNA analysis on modern sample, and you are putting question on modern samples, the samples which were given by the blood, so you can assume that what they have extracted from the tooth sample, which was more problematic and more requiring time and more requiring the effort.
Right.
So this mutation is also practically impossible to have in this family.
So net, what is your conclusion? Should there be a fresh DNA test? Do you think the best expert on DNAs was used? The expertise of the best people in the process in the field was used by the CFSL?
No, not really. Usually, there is a name called Dr. Lalji Singh. He is now no more, but he was available during that time. He is the one of the person who has started DNA fingerprinting in India, and most of the cases like Rajiv Gandhi case, assassination case, and then Beant Singh case, and there were several other cases which he hasn't handled very correctly. So he should have been contacted by the CFSL or the authorities working on this kind of sensitive case.
But that was not done. That was not done. Yes,
Exactly.
Chandrachud. I'm just going to open it. Professor Chaubey, please feel to step in and raise any issue if you want. I'll also bring in Chandra K. Bose and Sumeru Roy Chaudhary after Chandrachud. Yes, Chandrachud, go ahead.
One question for Dr. Chaubey is that so many anomalies which an expert of his experience has been able to spot in this report.
Right.
Does this indicate or does this not confirm that the report or the findings were tampered with?
I cannot say, but I mean, it shows this kind of indication. I can support you in this case.
You say in this case that there was somebody, some element of this report was tampered with. So who tampered with it? That's one part. But Sayak Sen, I have a RTI query with me which is dated March 2017. उसमें लिखा है कि this information pertains to third party and is confidential in nature, and as per RTI Act 2005 Rule 11/1, consent of forwarding of the report has been asked. So that is why we cannot make it available to you right now. What did the RTI query tell you? Shayak Sen, can you hear me?
Hello?
Yes, Shayak, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Shayak,
Can you hear me?
Yes. Now, Mike, I'm going to ask you the question again. March 2017, an RTI query says, reply to an RTI query seeking the electropherogram information to the Directorate of Forensic Science Services, Ministry of Home Affairs, Government of India, Kolkata, says that the information sought by you cannot be disclosed as it comes under RTI Act Rule 11/1. So they are saying cannot be disclosed. And this was to Amlan Chakrabarti. Now, Sayak Sen, this is April 27, 2017. Once again, it was reiterated. The same query was asked and it was the same reply was given. So, March and April 2017, they said कि हम आपको दे नहीं सकते क्योंकि आप third party, this is third party information. Sayak, आपको क्या बोला गया RTI ने?
See, Anand, they told me very clearly that it is not available. The basic funda that I can see here, that this is a classic example of a DNA scandal. And with this kind of argument and with this kind of reason that they are saying this kind of reply, the very validity and credibility of the Sahai Commission report falls totally flat. And even Mukherjee, Justice Manoj Kumar Mukherjee could not get the clinching evidence that Bhagwanji was Netaji because of this DNA report. Now, since this DNA report, since without electropherogram, we cannot say that any DNA was ever conducted, because this, as the expert said, that this is a, there is a possibility of DNA tampering. The report is getting tampered.
Yeah, I know. See, there are a lot of possibilities, but can you not conduct, Professor Chaubey, let me ask you this, at the other side, can you not conduct a DNA test without an electropherogram?
No, when you conduct a DNA test, you get the electropherogram. That is the basic output from the machine. So that is the raw data which you can analyze at any time and then generate the output. So output is there, but there is no raw data.
There is no raw data. Oh, so without raw data, how can I derive a conclusion? It's not possible.
Yeah, that's the problem. Raw data means electropherogram here.
The electropherogram here. So for all the uninitiated like me who do not understand DNA technology etc., आपके घर वालों में आपने कई ECG तो लेते हुए देखा होगा, blood pressure monitoring होता होगा, तो जो प्रिंट आउट निकलता है that is raw data. When the expert picks it up, reads it, and then makes the finding, that makes it into the report. Now, if that raw data is not there, finding kahan se aaya? Chandra ke boss, sir, this is a compelling argument.
Right. Let me put things in the right perspective. A lot of issues have been discussed. You see, if you study the RTI reply, it states that the elctropherogram report is not available in the Kolkata office. That does not mean it doesn't exist at all. It may exist, but it is not available in their Calcutta office.
Okay.
Now, coming to, we are trying to completely reject and condemn the findings of the report. I think that is a bit unfair because although we have a technical expert on the panel,
Wait.
but the point is, we cannot literally condemn it completely. You see, 5 of the 9 teeth of Gumnami Baba was taken and tested by the Central Forensic Lab, Kolkata. A detailed report was submitted to the commission.
Which you have it.
Yeah,
Conclusion
I have the report.
was it had nothing to do with Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. I am not sure whether the complete report is with you.
Sir, I have the complete
We have
report.
to find out.
Sir, I have.
Now
Sir,
there is a
Let me
procedure.
clarify.
Let
We
me
got it
finish.
out
Please
from
let
the
me
Ministry of
finish.
Home Affairs
Let me
through
finish
RTI,
my-
the entire report. So
Okay.
I have it on record.
Okay,
that
let him
you
complete
Then
and then
you
we'll
can
come to the
talk.
counter. Let Mr. Bose complete.
Okay,
Yes.
okay, let me finish. I am not going to argue. I have not come to argue. I've
wait,
come
wait,
to
wait,
state
wait.
facts.
Let him
me
complete.
finish.
Let Mr.
Now the
Bose
point is,
Ji.
yeah, you see, the point is, we cannot assume that the entire report, the electropherogram is absent, is missing.
Right.
The procedure of RTI, if you see the reply,
Right.
they have said in 30 days,
Right.
you can file an appeal.
Right.
Why don't you do that? You file an appeal for getting the complete
Sir.
report, including the electropherogram.
Sir, my point is
there is a procedure. This is an initial
may I, sir,
reply.
before Chandrachud
Initial
Ghosh
reply is not complete.
Now, sir, may allow me an intervention before I go across to Chandrachud Ghosh and Anujdhar here. My simple point is, sir, the DNA test was conducted at the CFSL Kolkata. The previous 2 RTI queries were addressed to the CFSL Kolkata in March 2017, where they said that because it belongs to a third party, we cannot share it with you. The same CFSL Kolkata now says, I don't have it. Kisko diya, sir? Kaun dega? The point is, if I have conducted the DNA test, I am not going to park the reports with you. Secondly, sir,
Not
this
only
is
that-
the second.
not only that, Anand,
So 1 minute,
Anand, I
sir.
filed it
I'm
with
just
the
saying, this
Ministry
is
of
the
Home
full.
Affairs.
Chandrachud Ghosh was saying something. Chandrachud, you are saying this.
through RTI again,
Ah.
I had asked for all the exhibits of the Mukherjee Commission, and this was personally handed over to me.
Ah.
The complete DNA testing report from CDFD and CFSL.
Right.
The 2 labs that
So the
did the DNA
complete
analysis.
reports from
This is the
CDFD,
complete
CFSL.
report
This
that
is the
we have.
full report. This is
the full
not a
report.
half-baked report, and this has got the.
It's a 37-page report.
Yes, and it has got the signatures and the date also. 11th of June 2004. Final page has got 11th of June 2004, the signature, and it also reads, Cum Chemical Examiner and Central Forensic Science Laboratory, Directorate of Forensic Sciences, Ministry of Home Affairs, Government of India, Kolkata 700014. It is here on my with me.
In contrast to
With
this
me.
report,
This is the final page.
And Anand, the original of this report is lying in the National Archives in Delhi. These people are most welcome to come and have a look, and they can produce the electropherogram.
Yeah,
The original of the
this is
report
where
is
the
lying in the
signature
National Archives. They
This
can
is the
come
full
very
report,
welcome
sir,
and
and
see.
in this report.
report,
And
It's
in this
available.
report, Mr.
It's
Bose.
available
In
in
this,
National Archives. Please come and see.
report is not furnished.
Sir, the
This is
complete
furnished
report,
in
sir.
front
This
of
is the
you.
complete report, sir. This
Let's
is
be
the
very
complete
clear.
report.
You
This
are
is,
making a serious allegation
We are.
against a government agency.
yes.
Yes.
How can
Yes,
you make
it is
a
not
serious
an
information. It is
Yes,
proved now.
indicates-
We are
Sir,
making
we
it
are
with
doing
the
it, sir.
consciousness.
An official
Based
stand
on
by
the
the
report
board.
has been
Full
first.
awareness.
Based
You
on
have
facts,
no
sir. Based on
evidence.
facts, sir. Look at the
Who
date. Look at the
said
date.
it?
11th of June 2004.
Forensic laboratory
Who signed it? Who signed
of
it,
the
sir? The
government of
cum
India.
the cum examiner,
don't
sir.
So-
He has, sir. He
That
has
shouldn't
the
be
cum
your
chemical
that
engineer.
shouldn't be your concern.
Are you part of the government?
Are you part of the lab? That shouldn't be a
Then
concern.
let the CFSL come out with some kind of
In
statement.
stark contrast, the CDFD lab
Sir,
report
I
that
will
came
also
in had the
put it
electrophotogram.
on record here, sir. We have made repeated attempts to get and speak to the director of CFSL Kolkata and also try and identify the person who conducted this report back in 2003, 2000 test in 2003, 2004. They have refused to come on record, and we urge them to come on record. And if the electropherogram exists, please tell me, sir, Mr. Chandrap K. Bose, I am asking you, sir, you should be concerned that if there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 pages in this report. Everything is mentioned, charts, pictures, pages, also the blood samples of who all have been collected, the extraction, what was done, the entire procedure is mentioned. How is the electropherogram not there in this report? Why is it not
And
there?
Anand,
It's a basic question to ask,
Anand,
sir.
Well, why don't
Anand,
you
let me
file?
clarify this one point.
Why
Sir,
don't
sir.
you
Anand, let me
file
clarify.
a case in the Calcutta High Court? RTI probably doesn't have the purview to fetch the electropherogram report.
No,
That
no,
The
no,
RTI Act has
only the
specific
agency
exemption
can
list.
reply.
My-
Why
my-
don't you
my
get,
simple
get
point,
file
Mr.
a case
Bose.
in the High Court?
My
There
simple
are
point,
set
with due respect to
procedures.
you, sir. My simple
Just
point, with due respect to you, sir.
sensationalizing.
You
Don't
should be the first person to ask this
sensationalize the
question.
issue.
No,
This is a very
It is about
serious
Netaji,
issue.
sir. You
It
should
is
feel
about
far more
Netaji
passionately
Subhash
being
Chandra
his blood related.
Before
Than what
India,
me, as an ordinary Indian
just
citizen who's
because
an ardent
a bunch
admirer
of people want
who
to
studied Netaji
sensationalize.
would
See,
feel.
the media, you have a responsibility.
Before
Sir, I
Mr.
have a
Bose-
responsibility to ask the questions
responsibility,
based on facts, and
media.
I am asking based
As
on facts.
media,
Do
you
I not have a
cannot
DNA expert with me? Yes.
sensationalize.
Do I not
You
have the
cannot
Do I not have the
distort.
full DNA
You
report
cannot
as
distort
released by the
history.
Ministry of Home Affairs? Yes, as per RTI.
CNN,
Do I not have
CNN
Do I not have
News,
the
you have no
report
right
of the
to
and the comments of the CFL?
sensationalize
Yes.
Netaji
Do I
issue.
not have the RTI? I do.
Gumnami
I am
has
sitting here with
nothing
facts.
to do
I
with
accept. Yes,
Subhash
I
Chandra
accept.
Bose. You
So I
want to
accept. I am asking questions based on
you
facts,
want
sir.
RTI,
You want to jump the theory, I don't know why.
That's not
I am
the
asking,
problem of
I
the
want
nation.
closer, sir. I want to know why is Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose being denied, and is he being denied?
One point needs to be clarified.
And
which
why
Mr.
did he
Bose,
have to live for
raised.
40
This is not
years
the
as
way to
Gumnami?
get closure. You are distorting the issue.
No, sir, I am not,
sorry.
sir.
No, what is
CNN
distorting?
I am not,
News,
sir.
you are
You are
distorting
trying to
the
put a
issue.
spin on this.
You are
You are trying to put a
supporting
spin on
a
this.
bunch of
My
people
question-
who are
sir, my simple question-
sensationalizing,
Sir,
who are
Mr. Bose.
leveling charges
Mr.
against
Bose,
Mr. Bose, your
am I
lies
sitting
are just
here
falling
without
flat on
any
their
evidence?
face.
Okay, 1 minute.
This
Chandrachud
is
Ghosh
serious.
answers. I accept.
I will just
Chandrachud
stress one
Ghosh.
point, one
Chandrachud
clarification
Cannot
which he
level
raised
charges.
on the point.
Chandrachud
Without
Ghosh. Nobody is
evidence.
leveling charges, sir.
Against
We are
a
asking
government
questions. We've
agency.
got the right to ask questions
This is
based on
ridiculous.
facts. That's what we are doing, Mr. Bose. We are asking questions that you should be asking along with us, sir. Yes, sir.
As
But
Mr.
you
Bose
cannot
transitions
humiliate
from a
Subhash
DNA
Chandra
expert into a
Bose.
lawyer.
You cannot
Who is
denigrate
humiliating Subhash
a
Chandra Bose, sir?
government authority.
Nobody is, sir. We want the right respect accorded
Of
to him.
course,
Can you
you
declare
are
a man
saying
who
Subhash
didn't die in
Bose
1945
was a
dead in
recluse?
1945, sir?
Subhash Bose
Please tell
was
me,
a
can you
recluse?
declare
Subhash
a
Bose
national
was a
hero who
person
did not die in
sitting behind the
1945
curtain?
dead in
This is
1945?
not
Please tell me,
acceptable.
sir.
On national media,
Sir,
you
on
are
national
insulting
media, I'm
not
asking
Subhash
you this
Chandra
question,
Bose.
sir.
You should
You
be
are not
ashamed.
With due
custodian of
respect
his
to you
image.
and to
You
the
should be
entire family,
ashamed
I'm
of
asking you
yourself.
this question. Do you not want to know?
He is not a
if he-
property of your family.
No, sir. I'm not getting into whose
This
property
is
or
not
whatever.
the way.
I am asking
They are
is there
misguiding
has
the
to be
people.
justice done
You
to
are
the legacy of
distorting and
Netaji Subhash
misguiding
Chandra
the
Bose.
people.
If he did
This
come
is
back
not
to
the way
India,
to solve the problem.
if he did come
Gumnami
back to
has
India, we need to
nothing
know.
to do
If he
with
did
Netaji
live beyond 1945, the country should
He
know.
never came back
India
to
should
India.
know.
Let's-
And India
let's-
should have
what
the answers
evidence
rather
is
than being
there?
dismissive about
There
it. We
is
should
no
ask.
evidence.
We should not be
There is
convinced
not a
till every
shred
ounce
of
of proof is
evidence.
kept. 1 minute,
These
Chandrachud Ghosh.
people should go to jail.
Sir, you
people
can take them
who
to
are
court, sir.
misguiding
Take them
the
to court.
nation.
Take them
They
to court,
should
sir.
go
Take
to
them to
jail.
court. If you are so frustrated, sir, I don't know why, sir.
Sir, we are happy to go to a jail as long as you are happy to go to a circus. You should be sent to a circus.
Chandrachud Ghosh. No. Chandrachud Ghosh. Let's get back to the facts. Let's not get
Just one point.
Yes, sir.
It needs
Irrespective of what Mr. Bose says and what Tony had asked, we are going to stay focused on the
We
subject.
will
My
not
point.
needs clarification. He
People will
mentioned that
not accept
Right.
electropherogram
not
cannot be
accept
obtained through
denigration of of Subhash Bose.
Now that is completely
He
wrong.
was no recluse.
Because the
He
RTI
was
Act
no
has a
Gumnami
specific
Baba.
list of
This
exempted
nonsense
institutions
must
and
stop
organizations.
from
CFSL
today,
doesn't come
period.
under that.
Right.
So there is no exemption to any document to any other institution other than those mentioned in the RTI Act
And the
exemption list.
CDFD
Right.
report, the electropherogram is available, by the way. So we have the other electropherogram available to us because there were two
Anand,
tests involving the CDFD.
1 minute, Sack. 1 minute, Sack. Coming to you.
There were two different DNA tests, one done by the CDFD Hyderabad. The electropherogram for that report is very much available. So it's the electropherogram for this report from the CFSL Calcutta which is not available. So it's very much
the
available.
fact, so CFSL and CDFT, you said both of them conducted tests separately.
Yes.
So one is making the electropherogram available.
Available, yes.
The other one is not making the electropherogram.
Yes.
No, it's just that हम कागज नहीं दिखाएंगे in 2017, in 2020 हमारे पास कागज है ही नहीं.
कागज हमारे पास नहीं.
कागज है ही
That's
नहीं. अब कागज नहीं दिखाएंगे, कुछ और लोग भी
आनंद-
बोल रहे हैं
आनंद
देश में,
एक
but
और-
that's a different
आनंद एक और
point.
बड़ी-
Sayak Sen, let's get back to the subject. Yes, Sayak Sen, what were you saying?
Anand, actually, Chandrakumar Bose's line of argument is totally uninformed. I filed this RTI with the Ministry of Home Affairs, which is the nodal agency in this case, and the Ministry of Home Affairs actually forwarded this to the CFSL Kolkata.
Right.
And so, any response from the CFSL Kolkata is on behalf of the Ministry of Home Affairs. Number one. And number two, unfortunately, we do not take Netaji's name for our political benefit. It is someone from the family it is taking, though he is losing the elections. We are not getting into that.
Right.
Now the thing is, what they are
Don't
saying that
get
Gumnami
personal.
is nonsense.
Sir, you also
Listen,
got personal, sir.
CNN
You
News
also got
how
personal.
can you encourage such gangsters on
we
your
all know,
television channel?
please.
Why is he getting
Please,
personal?
let's not get into
We are
that.
discussing
We all
Sir,
know
you
that.
just got personal
How
with
can
them,
he
sir.
get personal?
Sir, it's
How
like
can
the
you
door
get
of respect
personal?
swings both
Netaji
ways.
is not
I
your
will only
property,
say the
sir.
door of respect
Netaji is not
swing
your
both ways.
property.
You got
He is
personal
not
with
your
them too,
property.
sir, for asking questions.
Stop
so
this
that,
nonsense right
no,
now.
sir, you cannot decide what is nonsense and what is not. It is not
What
your
is
rule,
going
sir.
on?
You are
How
welcome
can
to
you
participate in the
encourage
debate and
CNN
we will
News?
put forth
It is
our
you
views
who
with
should
due
have been
respect.
going to
But you
bypass
need
Mr.
to accord that
Chandrakumar
respect to
Bose,
every
not
other
us.
fellow panelist, Mr. Chandra K. Bose, and respectfully
What is this?
say that to you. I respectfully say that to you, that you must also accord respect to every other fellow panelist. You may disagree with them, but you also got personal with them,
No,
sir.
I will not.
You also
He
got
is
this, you also got
What is
personal
this,
with
Anand,
them, sir.
that we should
He
be
should
If
going
be
questions
whipped
asked by
in
them are
public.
getting
They
are
should be
uncomfortable
whipped
to you,
in
sir, then
public.
join in the
How
questions
can
or
we
you
accept
please
this?
bring back facts. You show
What
me the
nonsense is going
electropherogram
on
and you show me
on
proof
national
that it was
network?
indeed not a link. Sir, don't make things which are inconvenient, sir. I want to know if Netaji came back to India and if he was here, why was he, did he come back to India? Sir, did he live beyond 1945? And is there a link between this person who was there in Faizabad
No, he did not live.
and Netaji
There is
Subhash
no
Bose?
evidence.
Why is there
He
no
lived beyond
conclusive evidence to say
1945?
no, it was
What if there is no evidence? You are not someone who will decide evidence. It is court who will decide it.
Sumeru Roy Chaudhary. Now, these are people.
These people are doing
One
business
minute,
out
Mr.
of
Bose.
Subhash
1 minute,
Bose.
Mr. Bose.
They are
Please calm
making
down.
money out of
Yes,
Mr. Bose,
Mr.
please calm down.
fighting in the
Mr. Bose,
name of
please calm down.
Netaji.
These people
You are
should
fighting
be
elections
arrested.
in the name of
You are
Netaji.
encouraging
You have
them
some
on your
shame.
Don't try and get
television
personal
channel.
with my
And you are
panelists.
having
They have
not
nothing personal with you. Now, 1 minute. Mr.
This is
Sumeru Roy
not
Chaudhary.
acceptable.
Mr. Sumeru Roy Chaudhary.
I respect your channel.
Sir, handwriting matches. Two experts sat here live on my studio, sir, and they compared writings and notings between 1937 and 1945 written by Netaji himself and the handwriting of Bhagwanji in 1960-1970. And the writing matched, but no handwriting analysis or forensic analysis was demanded, was asked of Mr. Sumeru Roy Chaudhary. Also, now the DNA report, the crucial part of the DNA report is missing.
I'm not willing to.
Mr. Sumeru Roy, no, sir,
What
please,
nonsense is
you're
going
welcome
on?
to leave if you're uncomfortable. But I am not. There is no disrespect for you here on the panel, sir. Questions are being asked. You can disagree, sir. You're welcome to disagree. Mr. Chandra K. Bose is getting up and going right now because the questions are uncomfortable. He is in Kolkata. The CFSL is not very far away from him. Let him ask the director. Mr. Bose, I request you to please come. Please stay on, Mr. Bose.
But how far will you run?
No, it's okay, sir. It's okay.
Exactly.
Let's not get personal. Yes, Mr. Sumeru.
No, questions are not uncomfortable. You people are denigrating Subhash
No,
Bose.
sir, nobody is denigrating Subhash
You
Chandra
people
Bose,
are
sir. Nobody is
denigrating
denigrating
Subhash
Subhash Chandra Bose. Sir, you must ask, sir, are you comfortable by somebody telling that Subhash Bose did not die in 1945, but he's been claimed dead in 1945? Please tell me, sir. Justice Mukherjee himself was not convinced that Netaji died in 1945. Shouldn't that question be answered by Mr. Chandra K. Bose? And if he did come back to India, shouldn't we know why did India not welcome him with open arms?
Justice Mukherjee was
Shouldn't we
completely
ask,
wrong.
sir? Shouldn't we ask, sir? Justice Mukherjee is wrong. Justice Mukherjee,
But
sir,
this is not the
with
way.
due respect,
You-
sir, if you're
you
watching
are
the broadcast
promoting
tonight,
people
see,
who
sir,
are doing
please, sir,
business
I'm going to
out of
once again request, we've been
What
repeatedly
nonsense is
asking
this?
Justice Mukherjee to come forth and say on camera what he has always believed. And I hope he does here on the right stand. But Sumeru Roy Chaudhary, before I bring in Alok Awasthi, your counterpoint. Yes, Sumeru Roy Chaudhary. Thank you for your
Yeah,
patience.
will you let me speak? Because you have been drowning Mr. C.K. Bose's voice. You three have been shouting. Will you let me speak now?
Sir,
Give
you're
me
the
some
only one
time.
speaking. You're the only
I
one
can't hear
speaking.
you.
Lal Salam, comrade.
No, you're the only one speaking. No getting personal here. please.
Are Jai Shriman Anuj. Jai Shriman Anuj.
Sir, Jai Shri Ram, ठीक से तो बोल दीजिए.
See, first thing first. Jai Shriman.
अच्छा, Jai Shri.
Dhar. Jai Shriman. Now coming back to this. your
Okay,
first
let's get back
question
to the debate, please.
One of
Yeah.
the first question. 2000. Now see, let me speak. There shouldn't be three persons of you.
बोलो,
three
बोलो,
persons
दादा.
speaking
बोलिए, आप बोलिए.
when I am speaking.
आप बोलिए.
Bolun Dada. Now see, you can't even understand the difference between 2017 reply, RTI reply, and 2020 reply. 2017 reply clearly state it cannot be given to you. It cannot be given to you. Yes, such things are not given off the shelf to any third party. Now in 2020, do you think that report will still be remaining in that same office? It is in Calcutta, it could be in Calcutta, it could be in Delhi or wherever this thing, but it is there. It has to be there.
Okay.
First thing.
Now,
another
Mr.
thing
Sumeru
is
Roy
that,
Chaudhary, may I ask you this,
have
sir?
No, let me speak.
Sir,
Let me speak.
one
let
point
me
after
finish.
the other.
No, let me finish. Let me finish.
Okay,
my
one
part.
point after the other.
No, more serious
Just a
thing
10-second
is you've got a
intervention,
DNA specialist here. No, if you are talking, then what's the point of
Okay, go ahead, sir. Go ahead. I'm not irritated. I don't know why you're getting irritated.
You've got a DNA.
A report which will be there between
you're
from
not letting me
2006,
speak.
2004, 11th of June 2004 till March 2017 at CFSL Kolkata will suddenly vanish between 2017 and 2020.
Could be there, yeah.
It is possible. Anything is possible.
Anything is possible.
So that's why we are asking that the report could also be fudged. Anything is possible.
Why are you missing another point?
Yeah, go ahead.
Why are you missing another point?
Go ahead.
They have directed the applicant. They have directed the applicant to appeal to the appellate authority. Why are they not doing? I'm not. I'm missing you. I'm missing you. Your voice is not coming. Then worst thing is
No, they have appealed to the appellate authority. Sir, in March 2017 also they appealed to the appellate authority and they upheld what the CFSL had replied at that point in time in April 2017. Right now my question is, sir, what
you have
cannot
to be
be given
satisfied with
cannot
that.
be given. It should not be unavailable.
No. My worst this thing is you've got a DNA expert here. I'm not hearing you. You've got a DNA expert here, and this DNA expert is challenging the integrity of one of the pioneer father figure of DNA printing in India.
Who? Who is
I
it, sir?
cannot,
Who is it, sir?
Accept.
No. Who is it, sir?
Dr.
Sir, no. He's
Kashyap.
questioning on facts, sir.
Vijay Kumar,
Can you extract? You please tell me, sir. You seem to be an expert. Let me tell you. Let me ask you. Can you extract 40 mg to 100 mg of pulp from a teeth? Can you estimate the height of a person based on their teeth?
I am not a DNA expert.
So then, sir, he's asked a valid question. He's asked a question which cannot be done. He's asked a valid question, Mr. Sumeru Roy Chaudhary. I have limited time. Alok Awasthi ji.
How can you
No, sir, I have limited time. I have limited time. You are running around in circles once
Now you
again.
have limited time. What is going on all this thing?
No. What is going on all this? Alok Awasthi ji, please tell me. Alok Awasthi ji, please tell me. Should the UP government, the UP government has got the relics.
Institute and national.
Alok Awasthi ji, the UP government has got the relics and the remains of Bhagwan ji.
Dr. Kashyap.
Should there
Dr.
be
Kashyap of All India fame.
What? Dr. P.K. Kashyap was there in our studio. He matched the handwriting, sir.
No, this is talking about the
He's talking about the CFSL expert.
CFSL expert. Okay.
Different Kashyap.
Oh, we are talking about different Kashyaps. I stand corrected.
That Mr. Kashyap also failed to answer my question.
What question? Which question? What question? Which question? What question? Which
Any
question?
sane person will. Any sane person, rational person
What
will.
question? Which question? Sir, these handwritings, you can yourself see and you say they belong to the same person. Alok Awasthi ji, sir. Alok Awasthi ji, I have limited time. 1 minute. No, these personal charges aside. Alok Awasthi ji, I'm going to go across to Alok Awasthi. Alok Awasthi ji, let me ask you this, sir. मैं आपसे बस इतना जानना चाहता हूँ उत्तर उत्तर प्रदेश के फैजाबाद में वहां जो संग्रहालय है वहां पर पहले माले पर ये सारी जो ग्रंथ बाकी शेष हैं, अंश हैं भगवान जी के, वो अभी भी हैं। उनके दांत वापस वहीं पहुंचे हैं। जो हमने तथ्य सामने रखे हैं उसके ऊपर, उसके बेसिस पे आपको नहीं लगता कि फिर से दोबारा एक निष्पक्ष डीएनए रिपोर्ट, डीएनए जांच होनी चाहिए और इस हैंडराइटिंग एनालिसिस को भी कंसिडर करना चाहिए?
आनंद जी, निश्चित बात है कि सरकार ने उनके सारी अवशेष गुमनामी बाबा के रखे हुए हैं अपने संरक्षण में, और 2016 में जस्टिस सहाय के उसमें एक आयोग बनाया गया था। उन्होंने काफी गहराई से जांच की, 3 साल बाद उन्होंने रिपोर्ट सबमिट की, लेकिन वो कहीं से भी ये साबित नहीं कर सके कि गुमनामी बाबा जो है सुभाष चंद्र बोस जी थे, वो साबित नहीं कर पाए। लेकिन उन्होंने ये बात जरूर कही है कि कई सारी बातों में समानता थी। जैसे वो बंगाली थे, वो मेधावी थे, वे बंगाली, अंग्रेजी और हिंदी भाषा के अच्छे जानकार थे। कई पुस्तकें उनके घर से मिली हैं। उनको युद्ध, राजनीति और सामयिक विषय की काफी गहन जानकारी थी। उनका जो स्वर था, जो बोलने का अंदाज था, वो भी नेताजी से काफी मिलता था। और उनके अंदर प्रचंड आत्मबल था और आत्मसंयम था। ये मैं रिपोर्ट की पढ़ रहा हूँ जी। और लेकिन वो गुप्त रहते थे। 10 साल उन्होंने पर्दे के पीछे रहे, वो किसी से मिलते नहीं थे जी। और जब प्रचारित हो गया कि वो सुभाष चंद्र बोस जी हो सकते हैं, तो उन्होंने वो घर बदल दिया जी। मैंने बात करी थी जो जहाँ पे वो रहते थे, राम भवन, और वहाँ पे शक्ति सिंह उनके जो मकान मालिक थे, उनसे भी चर्चा करी है। उन्होंने भी काफी प्रयास किया, सरकार के सामने भी रखा और हाईकोर्ट में रिट भी करी थी, जिसके आधार पर निर्णय हुआ। लेकिन मेरा साफ साफ कहना है कि जानबूझ करके आजादी की लड़ाई के समय पे भी नेहरू जी ने उनके योगदान को भुलाने का पूरा प्रयास किया, और कांग्रेस की सरकारों ने भी उसमें जो है गंभीरता नहीं दिखाई। नहीं तो आज ये बातें, जो आज फोरेंसिक एविडेंस काफी कम है हमारे पास, वो नहीं होते। साफ तौर से कांग्रेस में नेहरू और गांधी लेगेसी के चलते हुए बाकी सारे अध्यक्षों को, देखिए आजादी के आंदोलन में उनके अध्यक्ष,
मेरा सवाल बहुत सिंपल है। बीजेपी को, कांग्रेस को कोसने में कोई कोताही नहीं बरतते हैं आप कोसिए जितना कोसना है। मैं जानना चाहता हूं कि आप क्या करेंगे, क्योंकि सरकार अभी आपकी है, योगी जी के नेतृत्व में है। उत्तर प्रदेश में उनके संग्रहालय में उनके अंश पड़े हैं, शेष पड़े हैं। अगर आप खुद संतुष्ट नहीं है तो क्यों एक पूरी तरह से एक नया डीएनए जांच क्यों नहीं हो रही है? पूरी तरह से पूरी जांच क्यों नहीं हो रही है? हैंडराइटिंग एनालिसिस को क्यों कंसिडर नहीं किया जा रहा है? पूरी तरह से एक बार पूरी तरह से सब कुछ सबके सामने प्रत्यक्ष कर दिया जाए।
जांच तो पूरा हो गया, गुमनामी बाबा रिजेक्टेड हो गया।
नहीं, आप अरे सर, अवस्थी है क्या? आपका तो सरकार नहीं है सर वहाँ यूपी में।
अवस्थी जी से एक सवाल है मेरा,
पूछने दीजिए। यस, आलोक अवस्थी जी।
आलोक अवस्थी जी, एक सवाल है आपसे मेरा, सीधा सवाल है। ये रामकथा संग्रहालय में जो गुमनामी बाबा म्यूजियम बनाया गया है, ये 2 साल से तैयार पड़ा है, अभी तक मुख्यमंत्री जी ने इसका उद्घाटन क्यों नहीं किया है?
और दूसरा सवाल ये कि अगर ये संग्रहालय महात्मा गांधी का होता तो आप कितने मिनट में जाके उसको खोलते? ये भी सवाल उसके साथ जवाब दीजिए कि आप लोग का सारा फोकस जो आजकल गांधी भक्ति पर लगा हुआ है, थोड़ा
देखिए, गांधी भक्ति से किसी को कोई परहेज नहीं है। महात्मा गांधी फादर ऑफ द नेशन है, लेकिन नेताजी सुभाष चंद्र बोस कुछ कम नहीं है। नेताजी सुभाष चंद्र बोस
भक्ति से कोई परहेज नहीं है।
नहीं, रुके। मैं देखिए, एक तो संग्रहालय खुला नहीं, वो बात अलग है, लेकिन मैं आपसे पूछ रहा हूं कि अगर इन तथ्यों में कोई दिक्कत है, कोई प्रॉब्लम है और सवाल उठ रहे हैं, तो क्या इसकी पूरी तरह से निष्पक्ष जांच नहीं होनी चाहिए दोबारा से? आलोक अवस्थी जी,
आनंद जी, अगर नए तथ्य सामने आते हैं सरकार के पास, नए तथ्य सामने आते हैं सरकार के पास और उसको रखा जाता है, तो सरकार इस विषय में सोचेगी कि क्या कर सकते हैं। लेकिन अभी
मैं यहाँ पे रिपोर्ट है, आप प्रत्यक्ष को प्रमाण क्या? आज आप साक्षात यहाँ बैठे हैं। ज्ञानेश्वर चौबे जी बनारस हिंदू यूनिवर्सिटी के काशी के निवासी हमारे साथ स्काइप पे बैठे हैं। आपको क्या लगता है प्रोफेसर चौबे, वी स्टार्टेड द शो विद यू, आई एम गोइंग टू एंड द शो विद यू। डू यू बिलीव देयर शुड बी अ फ्रेश impartial investigation and transparent investigation into this entire matter again, a DNA test, a forensic test to try and...
Let me make a point.
Yes, Mr. Bose, 1 minute, sir. I'll come back across to you after Professor Chaube. I'll come back across to you to make your point. Yes. Okay. Yes, Professor Chaube.
Yeah, actually, it should be done freshly, because what we have now is not fitting on the current system and the way what we should do for the forensic analysis.
Right.
So the biggest question, I have a lot of respect with Dr. V.K. Kashyap. We have not worked together, but my supervisor has worked with him. There were some data which has been generated between both of the labs, and there were some anomalies when my supervisor said that there is anomaly with some. That is independent data. I'm not talking about this data. And then he has corrected. But because this time Dr. Lalji Singh was also available, he should have shown this data.
Right.
I'm really surprised. He might have not seen this data
Right.
because based on just 4 Y chromosomal STRs, one cannot conclude that this person is related with anybody else.
Right.
It's impossible, practically impossible.
Right, right. Sir, I have only 30 seconds left. Chandra Bose. Yes, sir.
Netaji's only daughter, Anita Bose-Pfaff, has written to the Honorable Prime Minister. I have forwarded the letter to the Prime Minister. We are holding the wrong end of the stick.
Right.
You want to solve Netaji mystery, do a DNA test of the Renkoji remains.
Right.
That is what has to be done.
By all
And there are
means, we are
3
not opposing.
files in Japan
By all
which are
means. Let's do it, sir.
classified,
By all means.
which will reveal the truth.
Let's
about
do it, sir. Let's do it. Not
Get it
just the
done. Get it
Renkoji
done.
remains.
We are all for it.
Even a
We are all for it.
reanalysis of the teeth of the remains of Gumnami Baba at the Ramkatha Sangralaya. Let's do everything, and
Let's
for once
open
and
the
for all,
floodgates. Let there
let's
be
once and
honesty.
for all solve this. Let this
Investigation.
mystery not continue into 75 years of India's freedom. 74th year already.
Why
now.
are you trying to suppress one angle of it? Let's investigate all the
Yeah,
possibilities.
yes, we should.
Totally
We should.
in
I have to
favor of
wind
a
up.
DNA test
I have
within
to
the
wind up.
Renkoji.
I have to
No
wind
angle
up.
at all.
I have
That's
to
a
wind up.
bogus
I have to
angle.
wind up the debate. I
What
thank you
can
all.
do
We'll
we do
continue the
here?
investigation. But before we take a break, ladies and gentlemen, since we're talking about Faizabad, we're talking about the Ramkatha Sangralaya. Not so far from there. Very soon, the construction of a Ram Mandir, Ram Lala's temple, where Ram Lala will be Virajman, will get underway. As we take a break, here is a virtual representation of the model that's been approved and how the Ram Mandir eventually will look. Breaking through the clouds is the spectacular 3D version where I stand, and this is the Ram Mandir right behind me. The VHP, Vishwa Hindu Parishad's model. It will be a 2-story structure. This has been adopted by the Ram Mandir Trust. This is what they will be building. It will follow the Nagar architecture, this beautiful structure and design that has been with the Vishwa Hindu Parishad for a long time. Now, what is right next to me? This is the parikrama area. So for people who want to go around the mandir, there will be a broad parikrama to accommodate the huge number of devotees who will come in. Right in front is what you see, the main entrance. This is a beautiful site. Around the main temple, you'll have smaller temples which will be built. There will be a courtyard area, lawns, and it has plenty of beautification. You'll see the water bodies also present. And as you see, we come right to the main entrance. Right as you enter, and before you see Ramlala Virajman, you will see the Vijay Sthamb or the victory pillar right at the main entrance of the Ram Mandir. And if you see, it's just a beautiful panoramic view, and the entire 67 acres will be used. As we come closer in and have a look at the pillars, there will be 212 pillars in all at the proposed Ram Mandir. As per this model is concerned, all these pillars will be carved. This is a sneak peek into the inside design of the Ram Mandir. Here I am on the lower floor. This is where Ram Lala will be Virajman. Right behind me, you see that reddish hue there. That will be the Sanctum Sanctorum. The pillars, 106 of them, will adorn and support the lower floor in the great Ram temple. Each pillar will be about 16.6 feet in height. It's been beautifully carved by the Shilpkars. Karsevakpuram Shilpkars over decades have been working tirelessly under the Vishwa Hindu Parishad and their supervision. The temple will have 24 doors in all, and marble will be adorning each of these doors, carefully selected marble, and it will also have its inscriptions. Here I am on the first floor. This is the upper level, if I can call that. This is the Ram Darbar. 106 pillars support the Ram Darbar. Above this are the temple domes. This will be used for religious instructions, discourse, and of course meetings and bhog and bhojan. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the great Ram temple as conceived and designed by the Vishwa Hindu Parishad and as has been accepted by the Ram Mandir Trust.